So here we go. As you'll notice, the tank out of the way. It was nicely half full of diesel, so siphon that all off. So yeah, panels all out of the way, tanks out of the way. Got cleaned up as much as I can, and as you can see, or you can't see, the issue. See how nice and clean and shiny that is? Yeah. So we know that those two back ones are the issue. So we've got two new liners to go in. And the injectors, they are... So we're going to do some jumping around here. So the injectors you're going to see in a bit here. Or maybe you've already seen it. I don't know. The breakdown, checking the injectors over, what looks like there's an issue with them. So we'll send the injectors away, and the guy at Wheat City Diesel, hey Wade, he's rebuilt them because he said the last numbers on those injectors were either late 70s or early 80s. So they've been here a while. So he's rebuilt the bottom end of all the injectors, and their pop is in the high 3000 psi, even into 4000, so they're good to go now. So these two go in, and then with that injector rebuild kit he's sending out, there's a whole new 6 of these dust seals, these weather seals, to go into here because these ones are messed up. So what I'm doing is I'm building my own cup extractor, because apparently these come out on their own with the injector quite often. Well, of course mine's didn't, because they're cooked in there. So basically this dog legs, as you can see where the rocker cover comes down close. So I'm going to try and do this one-handed. So it'll stand at sort of an angle like that, and then the oh, there we go. See, the little cutout fits like that. So you hammer this in, and then you start turning it on these locking nuts, and you feed the threads in enough to grab, and then you start running this nut down here, and it'll push the rod up with hopefully the cup inside here, and we should be good. So we're getting there. Hopefully she'll live. So yeah, welcome to the inner sanctum. Here is the dumpster, a project that was shelved a long time ago, and hopefully in the next little while we will get back to the job at hand. Yeah, welcome to the clutter. So got the injectors, and I think they've been in there a very long time. They're very hard to break. Yeah, how'd you like that for a license plate? 1924. Came out of the ground. That wouldn't happen in the UK. That thing would be powder long ago. Anyway, so we've got to split them at this part. So they got a little bit at this end where you can, I'll grab the other one, where you pinch them. So I've got these bits of aluminum plate, bar or stock or whatever you want to call it, from e-waste. So stick that in there to clamp, that way you're not messing this up. And then I run a bit of heat around the outside here, just to force this out a little bit. And then I have a 12-point wrench, because you really shouldn't be putting that any more than that much pressure onto this part here. So yeah, just pressure, give it a couple of pops, and it usually cracks free. Without the heat, I was putting way too much pressure. I was going to break them. So I figured I better take the smarter approach. So run a bit of heat, and yeah, they're popping apart. So I'll get them all heated up, pop them apart, and then hopefully we'll be a little bit closer to finding out why this tractor was making its own fuel. So yeah, bring you back. So, here is the aftermath. So, you gotta keep them in their own separate containers. That's what I learned from the interwebs. And the reason for that is right there. So these are shims. These are what preload the spring, and there's the cap. The cap fits over the top of the pin or hammer, however you want to call it. So this gets the well, the fuel comes down into here, and it comes through that single hole there. These are locating holes. The hole there is the fuel delivery. And so what happens is it comes in through here, and it lifts that spring up to fire the fuel out through here. There's three, I think there's 3 holes in the tip there. Yeah, you're never gonna, I can't see it. Anyway, so yeah, I took them all apart. They all have the same shims. They all have, they're identical. There's one injector that's a little bit different than the others, but they're the same numbers, but it looks like it was bought from a different pack. But the one thing that stood out about this one, and some of keen-eyed people might have noticed this already, is this little guy. Remember I said about the locating pins? There they are. There's the fuel hole. Not really sure why there's 2, because only one lines up. But those, you can now see what the problem was. So, something had broken off the locating pins. And if you look at the surface doesn't look great. So, I'm not sure how bad that is. Like, I might end up just getting the kit, because I think the kit comes with these parts, like most of the front end. But I'll have to talk to the guy. Big shout out to Wade at Wheat City Diesel in Brandon. He's managed to track me down 2 new cups, new liners, not cups. These are cups. I think that's what they call them. Injector liners, the part that fits into the cylinder head. He's tracked me down 2. They're 27 bucks a piece, so giggity. So there's the issue. The locator pins had broken off that, and we're up inside here, and you can see where it's been moving. So every time the engine would fire, because it pushes back and recoils this would have been moving. I don't think it would have moved too much, because this is clamped in there back really tight. Like, these were very tight to take apart. But I'm imagining if this was even off just a little bit, that would cause all kinds of issues. Cause, I'm not really sure how this works, but as far as the fuel going out, and then whatever fuel is left over from the injection goes back up through and out the return, which is this part. So I'm imagining that comes up past the spring, out the top and away. Because that'll be the high pressure, I would assume, the small line. But, so yeah, that's where we're at. So, still not sure what's going to happen. I wondered if there was a way to push these pins through enough so that they would actually work still, because there's plenty of pin there that works into there, so I could bring them halfway through, and at least that would keep it working, because I'm not wanting to put a whole lot of money into this tractor just before I know it's actually going to work. So that's where we're at. I'm not sure whether this will be like a multi-part video. I think it's probably going to end up being that way. So if this is the end of the video, yakida!